Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at the last of the new Dual Attack figures for the Jurassic World line from this new wave that we just recently got hit with, which did include the Allosaurus and the Pseudoceratops, the Battle at Big Rock figures. Well, now we have the Odd Man out, and it is the new repainted version of the Dual Attack Concavenator. This is a figure that I actually wasn't even sure if I was going to pick up because I really was not a fan of the prototype images and the overall paint scheme, and I'm gonna say right now, in person, I kind of still have that same feeling. I did buy it because I feel like I just have to buy every dinosaur that they release or my world will crumble around me and my collection will just fail, but at the same time, this really is not that appealing looking of a figure. However, I guess the only true way to get a sense of how much I like or dislike it is to get it out of the box, so we'll quickly take a look at the box. Again, it's the typical Dino Rivals box that you always get, a shot of the dual attack features that we already have had previously with the Concavenator, and then the other two in this wave, which just so happen to be the ones I just mentioned, the Allosaurus and the Pseudoceratops, and a sneak peek of the card. So let's go ahead, break it out of the box, and take a look at it. So here is the Concavenator's card. Again, the image is actually really nice, and the paint scheme for some reason looks better on this image than I think it does on the actual figure, and you can get an idea of the stats as always in the typical back of the card. And here is the new Concavenator. I guess I'll move him over a little bit so he's fully in frame. There we go. I don't really know how I feel about it. I think the paint scheme is very, very strange as far as the color choices they chose. The reddish coloration on the back there, the sail area of the Concavenator, is super weird. The sail area / hump type area on the back of the Concavenator is just a very bright, almost ugly looking red at this point that is very unnatural in my opinion. But I guess we'll get a closer look, we'll be able to tell up close whether this new paint job looks good or bad. At this point I'm thinking kinda bad, but I guess we'll be able to tell better up close. So as far as the sculpt, we don't need to review it at all. It is exactly the same sculpt as the last Concavenator, so there's nothing new there. But we are here to look at the new paint, so let's go ahead and do that now. I almost dropped him. In some exciting turn of events, you can see that the eye actually is a very nice yellowish color with a nice stripe as far as the pupil goes. The pupil appears to be purple like the rest of the face, or blue, or whatever color you would say. I guess that's actually like... that's kind of like a purplish blue. It's something. But the eye is really beautifully placed. I think that is a perfect eye placement. Take a look at the other side. Same goes for this side. So the eye looks fantastic on both sides, which does at least help this figure a little bit. And the inside of the mouth looks great. It's got a very realistic coloration in there. Beautiful gloss. The tongue looks great. I really was a big fan of the tongue on the last Concavenator because you can actually see very nice detail and sculpt included. Even the skin flap on the inside of the mouth is really shining very realistically and beautifully. So the inside of the mouth is awesome as far as that goes, but the teeth you can see on the lower jaw are really sloppily painted. The upper jaw, they look good, which tends to happen often, where the upper jaw looks pretty good, but the lower jaw is really sloppy, and that is exactly what we have here with this new Concavenator, or at least mine anyway. You can see the majority of the head is this purplish blue, and it's just kind of the majority of the face, and then splotches into stripes up here behind it. I do like that appearance of the pattern there. I think that looks really nice, but then it abruptly stops here in the neck, and it just transitions to this brown, which is kind of the same brown you see all over the body for the most part. And then up here on the back, you again start to get some spots and some splotchiness of that same bluish purpley type color, and then this very awkward bright red up here on the top, which transitions to a slightly darker variant of that red here on the back of the tail, which I think looks a little more realistic than what we have up here in the back. But overall, I don't really think either of those look very natural, and I don't really think that this bluish purple color looks very natural either. There is no paint on the underside, and that's it. There's not really anything else going on with it. And then you got the Jurassic Facts app if you do want to add this to your collection. Otherwise, that's really the only thing new, so I guess we'll go look at the action features again. So as we had previously, the action features are also the same. You've got one button here to snap the jaw, It does work perfectly, and then a second button here on the hump on the back to make the tail shake and smack whatever dinosaur you want. The action features do work perfectly, I will say that, so that is a plus as far as these figures go. They did not include any kind of a weak action feature. They are very strong, very nicely done. And then you've got the arm articulation here. It goes forward and back, out away from the body really nicely. The legs also go forward and back, out away from the body really nicely there as well. And of course the tail articulation and the articulated jaw. That's it though, there's no other articulation, and it's all the same as far as what we had in the last Concavenator. As far as a size goes, from the tail to the head, you're looking at about 12 inches right there on the dot, so you got a foot or about 30.5 centimeters. And for a height, the highest point actually would probably be that hump in the back there, so you're a little about 5.25 inches or about 13 centimeters in height. For a size comparison, there is our buddy the Papo Rex, and the Concavenator is about to take a bite out of his arm, so hopefully we can get him out of here pretty quick. But this should give you a good idea that the Concavenator is a fairly large figure, as these dual attack figures normally are. They are definitely very sizable, as is the Papo Rex, so you do get some good bang for your buck when you purchase one of the dual attack figures. That is at least one of the few redeeming features of this repaint. There is, I did not mention, actually some paint on the nails, and the nails do look really nicely painted. They are very beautifully painted and glossed, so that is a plus at least. As this figure goes, I really think that the last one looked a lot better, but this is still a beautiful sculpt. I think the sculpt of the Concavenator is fantastic as far as the detailing goes. It really is beautiful. There's a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of sculpt and time put into the overall appearance of this figure. And although some people really didn't like it the first time around, I was a pretty big fan of it, and I still think that the sculpt is great. I love it. It may not look exactly to what you would see on a real Concavenator, but me personally, I think it is still really highly and beautifully detailed, and overall has a very nice, very realistic appearance to it. The paint, however, is the new problem with this one, and I think it looks kind of okay-ish, sort of. It just doesn't look natural. It doesn't look like what I would expect to see on a real Concavenator. Potentially, these colors could have worked if they would have just chosen different tones of the color, I think. This red is really the worst. It's just very bright. I don't like how bright it is, which really gives it a very fake looking appearance to me. I feel like you would never probably see a Concavenator that looked like this. It's almost like a neon type of a color up there. And overall, I think the brown was a nice choice, but the bluish purple type color on the face and the back and the red in general are not very appealing to me. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's cool to get another Concavenator, as I did like the first one a lot. However, the first one will still remain supreme and definitely the better of the two. If you do want to pick this guy up, I will throw links in the description for you to Entertainment Earth and Amazon.com, where they should both still be for sale on those websites. So you can pick them up there, or you can just head to your local Walmart, as this guy's probably going to be one that shelf warms for quite a while. I don't see too many people running out and buying him, so if you want to, you'll probably have a pretty good chance of picking him up. If not now, very, very soon. So go ahead and buy this Concavenator if you would like, but before you do that, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.